Hi there, welcome to another educational video documenting my Web3 expeditions. In this video, we'll be talking about the Gensyn testnet. I'll be telling you what I did recently to participate with respect to running a node within the system. The information from here will be relevant to some users. So for testnet, you have to run a node. The node will have to participate in training, LLMs, and then on that basis it has participated. So if you click on join testnet, it will take you to a Discord with the steps to get started with running a node. But if you look at the requirements here, speaking of GPU requirements, these are very expensive GPUs. Most users don't have it. But for example, my own GPU is RTX 450. They've added one more here that is low. One more here. I think this is lower. I'm not very sure its capability, but I tried to use my. I tried to set it up on my personal PC. I had struggles basically. Now on the CPU side, it says 16 RAM, but it has to be a dedicated 16 RAM. Other applications, if there are other applications running on the PC during training, that might crash it. Now, if you are to compare CPU to GPU, there is no comparison, like these parallel computation with GPUs. They are good for machine learning training, graphics and all that. CPU will struggle overall. So I did want to go for the GPU options, but renting GPUs are very expensive. So I decided to experiment with this and see if it will be able to have wins during training. So I've run a CPU for 1 day, and I can now say that it was able to have at least a win. So that's all I wanted to know. But my research is not conclusive yet because I'm going to try to run a GPU to see the difference in terms of win rate, speed, and all that. Okay, I'll tell you where I will run my GPU and likely do a tutorial about that. Yes, but that's the relevance of this video, just to tell you that it's indeed possible to have a win with a CPU, though I didn't get a 16 GB CPU. I'll also be showing you an outlet where you can get your CPU. Let me just touch on it very quickly. Hostinger, I'll be putting the link in the description for it. Okay, so they have a 32 gig RAM CPU, which is likely to improve win rate and all that for $19 a month. Okay, so the link will be in the description, but this video will focus on GPU options. So typically I would like to use hyperbolic, because it could have the prospect of an airdrop, but many people have taken the GPUs, the RTX 490, which is cheaper at 35 cents per hour. Which other one? This is also available at 16 cents per hour, very cheap compared to this, but people have already reserved it all and there have been no open slots. Now I'd like to use hyperbolic because it could have a token in the future, an airdrop. So I still may just put up a GPU here, but for a short period. I do have some balance on here, like $5 that I'll use to experiment with one of these high level GPUs here for running a Gensyn node. Now for the GPU, I'm going to do it for a short period. All I'm looking for is how it's going to fare compared to a CPU. So I'll be renting just for a short period. Now, if you're looking for an alternative to hyperbolic, but where you can get a wider range of options when it comes to renting GPU, then Vast AI it is. I'll be linking it in the description. I'd also do a tutorial when I rent, a GPU here on how to set up your node on a GPU. Once again, with Vast AI, I'll be getting the GPU for a short period, just to see if it's possible to have a win when you contribute a node using a GPU. I mean, how fast it gets its wins compared to CPU. Now, I did check here the status of my node, and you will see it has had 2 wins. This is less than 24 hour. By the way, it's currently running, so I would, when I, for example, get a GPU running for say 1 hour, if it's able to make 5 wins, for example, or 10 wins, you will know that performance wise it's not comparable at all to a CPU. Then I may want to rent more of the GPU for, faster wins. Now, I don't know if wins, the number of wins will determine the size of your reward, but who knows? I'm going to find that out. I don't know if they will reveal that. I'll ask questions. Yes, you get the gist. So here you have the option of 490, for example, 2x RTX 490 at 86 cents per hour. Let's see. You have this at 62 cents per hour. There's lower than this, by the way. 390 at 80 cents per hour. Okay, so I'm likely going to be getting a node here and then using that node to show you a tutorial of how to set it up. For how to set it up, I'm using, where is the resource? ChatGPT basically, and this resource shown earlier, the GitHub of yes, this is, I'm using multiple GitHub, by the way, not just one. So I like this one because it breaks down what to do for when you are using a GPU versus a CPU. So if you are using Hyperbolic, after you have rented it, you want to connect to it locally using this command. You replace, so likely here is where you put your GPU host name, stuff like that. I'll have to do a tutorial about that. Okay, not very hard. Then you make sure after you have participated that you back up your PEM. It's like the metadata of your wallet to your personal PC from the GPU, something like that. You are renting a GPU externally, so you download that onto your PC so that you can back it up and there is evidence that you participated. Stay tuned for the tutorial. This is just covering the stats, telling you that you can run a CPU and it will end up winning, but I don't know yet compared to a GPU, speed wise. I mean, how it fares in terms of speed. I'll experiment with that with Hyperbolic and Vast. So I'll be getting a node on Vast, getting one on Hyperbolic as well, and experimenting with that. Okay, and I'll also do a tutorial. For CPU, the tutorial is very easy as well. Where is that? Yes, very easy. These are the main commands after you have set the dependencies, which you can set with, if you are using Cursor, you tell it to set it up, clone this deposit, this repo, it will do it. As if you are using AI. Okay, this is also a good resource, like I said, for CPU. Okay, so this is the VPS. If you rented the VPS, then you root. No, that's for backup. Okay, this is to install the dependencies. These commands will work very easily when you rent a VPS because they already have the Linux interface which you connect to with your command prompt or PowerShell, than if you are trying to do it by yourself on a PC, on a Windows PC, for example. Okay, so you just run these commands. These are just the dependencies, the setup environment. Okay, this is the main part. The main part is just 3 commands. You know, cloning, which is regular, setting up the screen, and these are the main ones. You activate and then run. And then it will pull up a page which you'll be able to find locally. And then you connect with your email to that page, and you then be connected to the testnet. I'll do a tutorial about that. I'll be ending this video now. To conclude, visit airdropc.com and submit your email to this portal here. You'll be subscribing to airdrop reminders, meaning that I'll be sending out an email containing 100 solid airdrops, each with its own publication tutorial, which I'm currently working on. I'll be adding Gensyn here as well. There will be a tutorial following it. Contact me using this contact form, this Telegram, or this Twitter. There are a bunch of other airdrop opportunities in the description. Exhaust them. Stay awesome. Take action.